I've got 4 different jars here that I want to upcycle to reuse. These ones had jalapenos, this one had some jam in it, and these ones had scented candles in that my lovely friend Abby sent me quite a while ago and hadn't got round to using them. So what I'm going to be using for these today are these glass paints, and these glass paints are superb. I will link them in the description below. They're by Pebio or Pebio, I'm not sure how you say it, and you have to bake these and then they become dishwasher safe. But you bake them in your own oven at home and it is so easy to do. So the first thing I'm going to do is mark off on my jar where I want my paints to go, because what I'm going to do is finish these off with something that I think you're going to be so surprised at how well it works. So I'm going to mark these off. Now I'm doing this by eye rather than anything else with a permanent marker. Like that. I just need, that one knee is in the wrong position. Needs to just be spread out a little bit more, that one. So all I need to do is just go over it with a little bit of alcohol and that'll get rid of those. Yeah, I'm not quite happy with that. And then this next one, I'm going to go across there like that. So they're virtually in the middle. My glass jars are so clean, my hands keep slipping off them. Yeah, so now we've got a cross there as well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a band through the middle of this jar. I'm going to have to tidy a couple of these up because they're not crossing where they should cross. Well, I've changed my mind how I'm going to do that because I think I've thought of a simpler way. What I'm going to do is get a bit of paper. So I've got a bit of paper like this. Now what I'm going to do is create a tube that size to put inside the jar. I've got both my patterns marked out now. They were really easy to do once I'd got worked out on a piece of paper. And now all I need to do is put these inside here like that, and I'm going to use a bit of tape on the inside to make sure that they don't move. And I really don't need to take these out until I'm ready to bake them. So that's that one in there. That's going to be squares, and that one's going to be that shape, the triangles. These ones I don't need patterns for because I know exactly what it is I'm going to do with these. Now before you use these, it's really important to make sure that you give them a good stir, because if anything's settled, you really do want it to combine together. And when these are dry, these will dry in a transparent rather than an opaque colour. And it's the transparent that I like. And these are the only ones I know that you can get in the transparent colours. As you can see, I've given that a really good stir now. And I just need to take a brush. I'm going to be using a nice soft clean brush. And you can clean your brushes out using water. It's not a problem. And the other good thing is you can mix these paint together. So if you want an orange, you can mix the red and the yellow or whatever colours you want, really. So what I'm going to do is, following my lines, I'm now going to paint on there. And it sticks on the glass really easily. And they're very vibrant colours as well. And you don't need an awful lot. It goes a long way. You can get a white and a black, and you can get lots of varieties of colour as well. But when you've got really the primary colours, black and white, you can make most of the colours that you want to make anyway. And these aren't expensive. I wish they came in a kit, but they don't. Actually, having that white paper there really makes a difference as well, to be able to see where you're actually painting. So that's that. And I'm going to finish that one off in a minute. This one I'm going to do again 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 4 colours on this one again. So what I'm going to do is do the same colours on this one. And it's not going to matter if I go over my lines because I've got something else that I'm going to do to finish these off with anyway. Once it's finished, I think you're going to love that as well. And again, I'm going to do the same colours on this. But as I said, I don't need to worry too much about this one because all I'm doing here, filling in these shapes on this jar. So it's kind of doing it for me. So it's given me my own pattern. And you get that on some jars as well, where you get your own pattern. But what I'm going to do is, for this one, I'm going to paint the whole thing in just one colour, going all the way round, and then put a different colour rim on that. And this one, again, I'm just taking a clean brush, smaller brush this time, and then I'm going to work inside of these little indents here. Well, finished painting these now. It didn't take long, and they painted really easily. Not a very steady hand, but as you know, I don't have a steady hand. What you have to do now is, before you bake these, you have to let them dry completely for 24 hours before you bake them. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put them to one side now. I'll leave them for 24 hours. and then I'll show you how and what you have to do to bake them. I think they've come out really pretty, and when this has had its finishing touches on, this one and this one, I think they're going to look awesome. My secret weapon is in here. Whoa. Well, these have been drying now for 24 hours, and what I need to do is bake them. I'm going to take my infills out while I bake them. And they can be baked in the normal regular oven, that's what it says on it. And you need to bake them at 160 degrees centigrade for 40 minutes. And then that becomes dishwasher proof. Well, these have had the 40 minutes now and they're ready to come out the oven. And then what I can do is leave them to cool down. It's not going to take long for them to cool down. There's no smell to them whatsoever, and it does say it's safe to use in a domestic oven. And then we can finish them off with what I've got planned. Look, there's a little doggy that's come to see what's going on in here. These have all cooled down now, and what I've got here is some self-adhesive leading, and I think this is going to finish these jars off an absolute treat. All I need to do is go around and measure sizes of the pieces that I want, and then it will stick on there. Now you need to make sure that your jars are really clean and grease free. Well, these have been in the oven for 40 minutes, so they're all nice and cured. So it is going to be as clean as I can possibly get it. And then you just need to follow your design that you had, which we've painted in. And this is really sticky, so it's going to stick on there ever so well. I'm going to put a strip there first, and make sure that I cover up all the edges of that paint where I painted up to my marks underneath, and I'm pulling this off as I go, and then I can line that up there like that, and then get a sharp knife, cut that through, sit in that joint really well. And then what you get with it is this: you get a little plastic tool and you just go round with it and you scrape that over the edge like that all the way round, and then with this edge you go round and reform it if it's gone out of shape, and it doesn't look like it's gone out of shape at all. And there we go, you've got a bit on there. Now obviously that's not enough for me, because I also want to go up and around the top. So I'm going to do the top edge first. So again, I can just measure out the size of the piece that I want. I was surprised how cheap this was. And it comes in this size and a wider size as well. So if you want thicker leading, you can get thicker leading. And it cuts so easy. And this will tarnish over time and get a really nice patina to it as well. So it's not going to be this bright colour all the time. And it bends over the edge of that glass jar really nice and neatly. Well, there we go. I finished that off and I've put those going up. Now what I'm going to do is finish this one off. I undercut that one, so I put it on ready. So now I'll finish those off and I'll show you what they all look like completely done. But I think you've got to agree, that really does set that off beautifully. I have kept the lid in case I wanted to put something in it and give it to someone, but I've got an idea in mind for these anyway. Well, these are all finished now. I love it. I absolutely love how they've come out. I think this is one of my favourite things I've done in a long, long time. And everything I love. Even that one with just the band going across the top has come out awesome as well. I really do love them. Now I'm going to be using them as candle holders. Let me show you what they look like when they're lit. But you could put sweets in them because the lids still fit and everything on them, so it's not a problem. You could put all sorts of things in them. And look how pretty they are. They're so pretty. And without the lights on, the colours come through so well. Look at that. And that's permanent on there, like I said. It even says in the thing that you can put them through the dishwasher and clean them if you needed to. And like I said, the lids all fit on as well. If you keep the lids to the jars, you could paint these or do anything that you want with them. Hope you've enjoyed this. Boot the like button, hit the subscribe button, but make sure you check out the video coming up next on a different upcycle I've done on jars, and I'm sure you're going to love that one as well. But most of all, enjoy your crafting. Take care. Bye.